Welcome back. Today I want to talk about the freeze response and the four proofs. These are inversely proportional. Okay, so I want to get into that. We need to know that depth in meditation has stages. So it's not just one thing. It's going to be one thing and then another thing and then another thing. And continuing down that line is what brings us the depth. So we need to know some of that flow. So let's go over the four proofs and the freeze response today. So let's get into it. So first of all, what do I recommend on this channel all the time, over and over again? HRV resonant breathing. And some of you have been practicing other systems for a very long time and you knew that they were hit and miss. And then you came to the table of HRV resonant breathing and you're like, oh my God. I had a yogi tell me, I went through this training, I went through this school, I learned all these different kinds of breaths, these pranayamas. I learned all these different kinds and HRV resonance blows them all out of the water. How is this possible? Because we're beginning to understand exactly how the pranayama should be affecting you internally in your body. And if that's not taking place, we're really not practicing yet. And so we do the HRV resonance, you get into the stillness and you go, oh my goodness, here it is. This is it. This is what I was looking for. And it makes it easy. It makes it repeatable. And that's the thing. I can come to this. It's my touchstone. I can come to it again and again and again, and it always takes me deep. So we combine that HRV resonance with sitting very still. And that sitting very still is so essential because now we are headed towards the dorsal vagal parasympathetic very, very quickly. So I do some HRV resonant breathing. I put my breath under 7 breaths per minute. I use the resonant breathing app. I make sure I'm under 7 breaths per minute. I make sure the out breath is just a little bit longer than the in breath was. That assures me that I'm accentuating the parasympathetic. The parasympathetic is the calm. It's the healing nervous system inside of you. It's the reset. Right? So I make the out breath a little bit longer and I make sure that that has come online. And I sit very still and it sends me straight towards the dorsal vagal parasympathetic. That's the parasympathetic nervous system which is towards your spine, dorsal. And right away I start to get some proofs in my body that I am doing this correctly. I start to notice hands hot and heavy. I start to notice tingling in my lips. I start to notice pressure along the spine, along the dorsal vagal, and that pressure turns into tingling, and the tingling, it turns into bliss, right? So I start to notice all of these deep things. I keep going towards this dorsal vagal. I keep doing the resonant breathing, and pretty soon my skin starts to tingle. So I keep going in this way and I start to get these 4 proofs, right? Hands hot and heavy, lips tingle, pressure or tingling or bliss along the spine, tingling in the skin. Those are the 4 proofs. And if I have one of those, if I have any of those, I have proved to myself that I have contacted the dorsal vagal parasympathetic wonderfully. This tingling that I'm talking about, it is not the tingling of, I lost circulation and my leg went to sleep. And now the blood is coming back and it's tingling through the body. That's not what we're talking about. We can also overbreathe. So when we make the in-breath and the out-breath short, both of them, and we breathe too much, too rapidly, over and over again, this is hyperventilation, and hyperventilation will lead to hypoxia. In hypoxia, your body has insufficient oxygen, not because there isn't enough oxygen inside of you, it just can't assimilate it because the CO2 has gone down too far. So the balance of the gases is incorrect. When you breathe too rapidly, it causes hypoxia, and the tissues, because of this lack of oxygen, they will start to tingle. This is a totally different kind of sensation. It is not the sensation that I'm talking about, okay? The tingling that you feel when you start to get the fourth proof, which also means you're on the edge of the freeze response. It's a set of receptors in the nerve cells of the skin. And your body goes into this freeze every single night. So you'll hear some therapists say, oh, all freeze is bad. No, that's impossible. You freeze every single night when you go to sleep, and wonderfully, it keeps you from rolling out of your bed every night when you have a dream. So this is a part of your body, it's a part of your makeup to be able to get into the freeze response. And the yogic skill is that you decided you're going to go into this on purpose, and you can do it all the time. And that's amazing. That's amazing yogic skill. So I wrote in my book, Mastering Meditation, in that first half, we're just getting the HRV resonance, and we're putting it into ourselves over and over again. And that's going to create a habit. It's going to create easy access for you and your subconscious and your body to get into HRV resonance all of the time. So think of your car. When you go down the road and you stop, your engine goes down. It doesn't have to work so hard. I don't have to rev my engine at the stop sign. I mean, I will look like a crazy person. I'm stopped, and yet I'm still revving my engine over and over again, right? Nobody does that, right? And that's what people do throughout their lives. They're at rest, they're at home, they're sitting down, and yet they're revving their engine constantly through mental, emotional agitation. And so we calm all of that down over and over and over again. We clean ourselves out with the Om Japa, right? And so we start entering into these low idle states throughout our day. It becomes a habit. And so you'll be sitting down somewhere, maybe on your couch at home, watching a movie with your family. You'll look down at your body and you'll go, oh, my goodness, I'm in HRV resonance right now. It's as if I'm meditating. My body decided I'm going to really slow down. I'm going to be in this HRV resonance because I don't have to rev my engine right now. Why would I be hyper? I'm just going to calm down and enjoy the peace which I am in. And this is the first level of the manifestation of the yogic body in your life. Oh my God, hallelujah. I have grade 1. Fantastic. And we keep coming back. More soup, sir. We keep coming back. More and more and more meditation every day, day after day, creating this habit, being able to go towards the dorsal vagal, being able to sit very still. And we access that parasympathetic over and over again, and we start to get into the freeze. So how did it happen from HRV resonance to freeze? How did it happen? It was just a repetition. It was a natural soaking. I like to say, become the holy potato. Just soak it in, right? Just soak in that piece. We keep soaking it in, and we just automatically soak our way straight into the freeze. And so if you have that tingling in your skin, this is the first sign, oh my goodness, I am beginning to encounter the freeze. It's not hypoxia. It's not something fell asleep. No, it is an activation of the set of receptors in your nerve cells, and the body becomes frozen as if you're in a deep sleep. The mind is awake, the body is asleep. Now, I never used this word, but a lot of yogis have described it to me this way. Parts of my body will become numb. So if I was feeling my right leg this much, well, all of that sensation has reduced dramatically, and I'm feeling my leg, it's become numb. This is not a negative numb. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling of the reduction of the sensation of the body. And that's the only way to properly meditate a long time, is because your body, the amount of information is going down to your brain. The signals are getting blocked by the freeze response. And so you enjoy a quieter and quieter mental state because of that reduction of signal from your body. The freeze response is interrupting it. So entire parts of your body will disappear. So one leg, one arm, one hand, one foot, it will disappear from your awareness, and you'll go, oh my God, where's my foot? One of my friends is a wonderful, amazing martial artist. He said, I hear you do this Kriya Yoga. I'd like to learn. I'm like, really? It's different than what we're doing here. He goes, I want to learn it. So I taught him the Kriya Yoga from my lineage, and I waited to see how he would do with it. I wasn't sure. And sure enough, a few months later, he called me back. He goes, is it normal that the lower half of my body disappears? I'm like, oh my goodness, you hit the freeze. Amazing. Well done. That's the kind of state that we can enter into. So parts of the body get numb, parts of the body disappear, the whole half of the body might disappear. I wrote to Ashok, I said, everything has disappeared except my head. The whole face has disappeared. I just feel like I'm in the box of my skull. And I thought that he would write back and go, oh, good job. Or he'd say, oh, that means this, or that means that. I thought he'd explain it to me. Instead, he wrote back and he goes, there should be no box. Nothing. No box. Nothing at all. Nothing. No box. And I'm like, okay, great. Keep going. I got it. That's the freeze response all the way up to the neck, you see? That numbing, I never said it as numbing. I always said, oh my God, I'm becoming ghost-like. Parts of my body, sometimes the whole body, will become ghost-like. Like it's barely there. It's barely part of my consciousness. It's barely part of my awareness. This is a wonderful sign of the freeze response. I would get into this state where the body would become very, very deliciously, like blissfully frozen. And I would feel as if the skin had become like a shell, frozen in place. And inside, I could kind of feel myself moving, like swirling with some energy. There was some movement inside, but the outside shell was completely frozen in place. And I would feel like I could move it, I could break it, but why would I do that? It's so delicious. That is wonderfully, that's the shell-like quality of the freeze response. It might happen to part of the body. It might happen to the whole body. There's dislocation. That freeze is interrupting signals which are traveling back to the brain. And so you might feel like my head is over here and my body is over here, or my body is here and my arm is over there. That's dislocation. You might feel like, oh, my body is here and my head is way up here, or I am here and my legs are way, way, way down there. That's dislocation. It's an interruption of the signal which is coming back to the brain from the body. It's being interrupted wonderfully by your parasympathetic. That dorsal vagal parasympathetic is interrupting the signal. You might feel cool waves go through the body. This is also the freeze response, these nice cool waves. You see, all of this is interiorization. Pratyahara. We're entering into that. That is synonymous, okay? Pratyahara. Freeze response, same thing. That is it. They are equal. This is how it is working inside of your body. So again, we're learning the actual truth of what Patanjali was trying to tell us all those years ago. we have unlocked the secrets by understanding how it actually works inside of your body. It makes it very, very easy for you to pick up and run with it. You know how it works. So now we have the 4 proofs explained, and we have the process of the freeze response. All of those, from the tingling in your skin all the way to the body completely disappearing. This is the progress. This is the process of the freeze response. And as that freeze goes up, what happens? More and more sensations of the body are going away. So in the very beginning of my parasympathetic journey, I noticed, oh my goodness, I have these proofs which are proving to me this parasympathetic system has turned on. What's going to happen as the freeze response edges up and less of the body is there to notice? What's going to happen? That's right, the proofs will go down. And by repetition, you are getting more and more familiar with your own parasympathetic system. You're going to fall into the freeze faster and faster and faster. And so I have students, they're like, oh, my proofs are gone. Like from the very beginning, I have just this much proof and then it's all gone. I think I'm going backwards. No, you had this much proofs and you fell right into the freeze. And all the sensation, what is the freeze? It's the reduction of sensation. All of that freeze is going away. Do you see? So they are inversely proportional. We used those proofs as the sign, oh my God, I'm doing this right. There is coherence between my heart and my breath. I'm getting into my parasympathetic system. I'm getting out of stress, hands hot and heavy. That is my first proof. I'm on that pathway and it is working correctly. So I get all those proofs. It gives me confidence that I am doing this correctly. And then the freeze comes and the reduction of the body happens. The reduction of the signal happens and the freeze goes up. And that's what I look at. I can't look to the 4 proofs so much. I can look at them right at the beginning. But I can't look to them like I did before. I'm in the next phase. I have to start noticing the freeze. It's a strange thing to notice because it's not a something, it's a reduction. But you will notice. You will notice all those things. And they are so, at first it's just, oh, strange. And at first it's like, oh, wow. And then eventually it's like, oh, this is nice. This is a relief. And where does joy come from? Joy comes from the relief. Joy comes from the freedom of getting away from your body, from all of those aches and pains and sensations, which is everyday living. Even if you're in perfect health, there's a degree of vast burden on your consciousness. I remember Brother Ananamoy, he would say, you don't understand. You don't understand. Being in a body is a torture for the soul. That was Brother Ananamoy. And he's so right. It's such a burden. And so when the freeze goes up and that burden goes down, you will get this relief, and that relief will give you joy. And so the freeze response will give you bliss eventually. So stick with it. Keep coming. More soup, sir. Keep coming back. And you will find that bliss. You will find that relief. You will find that joy. You'll find that freedom. And that's what the pratyahara is. It is freedom from the burden of the body on your consciousness. And so your clarity, dharana, will blossom. Why? Because you got all the junk out of the way. The clarity blossoms. Intuition flows, things come to you, downloads happen, little downloads, big downloads, humongous downloads, they all start coming because you got the junk out of the way and everything starts to flow. So I hope you loved this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.